If Johno was a food or a dish, Johno would be a sandwich.
Mashama would be roast chicken. She'd be spicy. It was me who found Mashama. We are both from New York City. I had started construction on the bus terminal that became the Gray, and I needed a business partner. When I met Mashama, I instantly knew that she was the right person to partner up with and do this crazy venture with.
Gray Space, I think, why did we choose Gray Spaces? Like, I think the name just comes from, you know, what we do is kind of all over the place, and it just feels like amorphous enough, the grayness, and everything we do takes place in some sort of space or gives you a sense of space, so that's how it came about.
And also what we do is sort of in line with like welcoming strangers as friends, so you need a space to do that in. So Gray Spaces seems like a really great way to have a word play on the Gray as the original brand, and also a space that's welcoming.
And radical hospitality and Southern food on the move. You can come on up. Désolé, s'il vous plaît.
Right now I'm gonna plate the cornbread dressing. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's made with cornmeal that we bring in from South Carolina for now. And we make our cornbread with buttermilk and flour, eggs, sugar, and salt. The thing that makes it a little different, we add more eggs, more milk, and we also add onions and peppers to the base to make it very seasoned. This is my grandmother's cornbread dressing recipe, and it's something that took 12 years for me to put on the menu. It's not something that I did originally. My grandmother didn't write down any recipe for it. You would have to be in the kitchen and watch her in order to understand what she was doing. So here we make it a little bit lighter for the weather and for the clientele. So we're gonna serve this with white asparagus that we've blanched. And I'm going to just season it lightly with a little bit of salt. And then I'm gonna take my favorite tool, a spoon, and I'm going to just sort of plate on top. Since it's warmer, it's a little summery, we're serving it with ajo blanco, which is basically like a little almond sauce. So we're gonna sort of garnish it with the sauce on top. You wanna make sure you have plenty of sauce. And then we're gonna hit it with a little tarragon oil because we're in France. I think it's really interesting that we can take this very southern dish that is cornbread and herbs and aromatics, and then pair it with something very French like white asparagus and tarragon. So it's just a very interesting and I think really seamless comparison, and when you taste the flavors together, they just make a lot of sense. So I try to really be critical in what I'm making and try to genuinely ask myself if this is something that I would eat. And I think if I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna serve it. So if I like it, hopefully other people will love it. Yeah, Southern food for me really is regional to the American South, which is really between the state of Virginia and Florida. And a lot of it is grandma cooking. A lot of it is very seasonal. A lot of it is braises, and it's really indigenous to the area. So you're really one pot cooking, whether it's a casserole, whether it's a stew, seasonal salads, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. And I think it really does connect technically to European style cooking, but I think Southern food is really grandma food. The receiving of Southern food I think is really good here because it fits in a bistro de quartier setting, because I think that it's humble, fresh ingredients that are done really, really well. And so I think that the French like to dine like that.
If you notice on our menu, we list all of our dishes in English, like the pulled pork sandwich rather than sandwich de porc. Qu'est-ce que c'est braisé? Je sais pas. things like that. So you know it gives it a sense of place, and then the ingredients are listed in French, right? So it's not inaccessible to the French. You get this sense of place that it's from somewhere else.
Running a space, running a restaurant as a chef was something I didn't know how to do. So it took us a few years to just learn how to do our jobs. And then it took us a few years to learn how to work together and to listen to each other. We can not talk for a month, and then I can show up and it's just like, hey, what's up? You hungry? Let's go get something to eat. And we're just talking like we spoke the day before. And I think that that's a true test of whether a relationship is seasonal or not.
We're both like exceptionally flawed people at the same time that we try really hard. The biggest thing for me is when one of us screws up, the other one always has the other person's back, because it's never mean-spirited. It's never not for anything but trying hard.
It's been a really intense and packed 12 years, and thankfully, you know, we only want to kill each other a few times out of the year. It's not often, but mostly we're on the same page.